What happens when one of the world's most famous actors walks alone through Tokyo at 3 a.m.? Why did it leave him speechless about Japan? Keanu Reeves is not just an actor, he's a global icon known for humility, wisdom, and sincerity. But even he didn't expect what he saw in Japan. From perfectly clean alleyways to strangers who never break rules. From women walking safely at night to convenience stores that feel more advanced than some countries. His journey through Japan was more than a trip. It was a cultural awakening. A realization that peace, respect, and order aren't fantasies, their daily life for millions in Japan. And what he found might just change how you see the world. But how did this connection between Keanu and Japan even begin? Let's go back to the moment a little boy discovered a Japanese hero on the screen. Section 1. Why Japan? Keanu's unexpected bond with a distant land. Why would a Hollywood superstar feel deeply connected to a country he wasn't born in? And not just admiration but something that feels almost personal? Keanu Reeves, born in Lebanon, raised in Canada, has lived a global life. But his fascination with Japan goes far beyond the surface. For many celebrities, travel is part of the job. Red carpets, interviews, fancy hotels. But for Keanu, Japan is different. It's not just a destination. It feels like a second home. So where did this unusual bond begin? It wasn't during filming. Not during a press tour. It started long before all that. When a young boy watched a Japanese action star and found a hero. That hero was Sonny Chiba. His bold movements, sharp eyes, and powerful presence captivated Keanu as a child. It wasn't about language or subtitles. It was about spirit. Keanu once said, "He made me believe strength could be graceful." While other kids admired Superman or Batman, Keanu looked to Japanto, a man who moved like a warrior and bowed like a monk. Isn't that fascinating? A Canadian kid growing up in the West drawn to the poise of a Japanese fighter? Have you ever admired someone from a culture totally different from your own? If so, who do you think that is? Maybe it's because something inside us recognizes beauty, even if it speaks another language. And for Keanu, Japan didn't just speak to him, it called him. This is where it all began. A young boy, a foreign film, and a seed planted that would grow into something bigger than anyone expected. Section 2. A childhood shaped by Sonny Chiba. Who was your childhood hero? A comic book superhero? A sports legend? For Keanu Reeves, it was a Japanese warrior. In the 1970s, Sonny Chiba's action films made their way overseas. Through VHS tapes and late-night TV, a young Keanu discovered something electrifying. Chiba didn't just punch and kick, he moved with purpose. Every strike had meaning. Every silence tension. Keanu was mesmerized. He saw strength that wasn't just muscle. It was discipline. It was precision. While many boys were pretending to be cowboys or astronauts, Keanu copied Sonny Chiba's martial arts poses in the mirror. He'd mimic his expressions, practice his stances. In interviews, Keanu has called Chiba an early master. Not just of action but of presence. And years later, the Boyhood fan met his hero. In 2015, during promotion for John Wick, Keanu visited Japan. And finally, he shook hands with the man who started it all. The moment was broadcast on Japanese television. Keanu's face lit up like a child. His voice cracked with emotion. He kept saying "Arigato gozaimasu" over and over. His admiration wasn't scripted. It was real. That meeting wasn't just a photo op. It was closure. The boy who once watched from afar was now face to face with his inspiration. And that's rare, isn't it? To meet the person who shaped your soul before you even knew who you were. For Keanu, that person came from Japan. And the bond he felt started decades before he ever set foot here. Section 3. What he saw in Tokyo that night. What happens when a world-famous actor walks alone through Tokyo at 3 a.m.? No bodyguards, no cameras, just silence. Keanu Reeves did exactly that. Late one night, after work, he decided to take a quiet walk. No crowds, no flashing lights, just him and the city. What he saw surprised him more than any movie plot ever could. First, the streets. They were spotless. No trash, no graffiti, just clean sidewalks, neatly painted crosswalks, and a strange calm. And then the people. A few were still out, but none were loud. No one was drunk or dangerous. No one even looked twice at him. But the moment that truly stunned him was when he saw a young woman walking alone. At 3 a.m., she wasn't rushing. She wasn't checking over her shoulder. She looked completely at ease. In most countries, that would be unthinkable. Even famous men wouldn't feel safe doing that. But here she was, strolling alone like it was midday. Keanu later said, "That's when I realized Japan is different. Not just clean, not just polite, safe." He wasn't just talking about crime. He was talking about trust. In that quiet moment, he felt something rare in this world. A society where people look out for each other, without even saying a word. That peaceful late-night walk through Tokyo stayed with him longer than any red carpet ever could. Because sometimes, the loudest message comes from a city that says nothing at all. Section 4. The rule-following nation that amazed him. Have you ever seen someone wait at a red light when there are no cars around? Keanu did. In Japan, at 2 a.m., he saw a man stop at a crosswalk. The road was clear. No cars, no people, just a red pedestrian signal glowing silently. And yet the man waited, hands in his pockets, calm, still. That moment stuck with Keanu. Not because it was dramatic, but because it was quiet and deeply intentional. Why obey rules when no one's watching? Why wait when no one would stop you if you didn't? In many places, rules are enforced by fear. Fear of tickets, fear of judgment. But in Japan, people follow rules because it feels right. Keanu later said, "It's like the whole country agrees on invisible standards. Not out of fear, but out of respect." He noticed it on set, too. No one was late. No one shouted. Everyone moved with rhythm, like gears in a clock. In Hollywood, chaos is common. Delays, egos, complaints. But in Japan, he felt peace. The rules weren't chains. They were shared values. And that changes everything. When people follow rules not because they must, but because they believe in harmony, something greater than themselves takes shape. For Keanu, that one man at the crosswalk wasn't just waiting. He was reminding the world that real discipline doesn't need an audience. Section 5. Alone, safe, and free women at night in Japan. Can you imagine a woman walking alone at night without fear? In most countries, that would be a risk. In Japan, it's normal. Keanu couldn't believe what he saw. During one of his midnight walks, he noticed something unusual. Women walking alone, calm, unafraid. No one was following them. No one was catcalling. No one even seemed to notice them. That shocked him, not because it was loud or violent, but because it was quiet, peaceful. In many parts of the world, a woman walking alone late at night would raise alarms. Friends would text her. Family would worry. She would clutch her bag, walk fast, look over her shoulder. But in Tokyo, women walked like it was noon, as if the night held no danger. Keanu later said, "I've never seen anything like that. It felt like another world." And maybe that's the point. Japan is another world, where safety isn't a luxury, but a way of life. It made him wonder, what kind of society creates that level of peace? Is it the culture, the education, the shared values, or is it something deeper, something spiritual? For Keanu, that quiet moment said more than words ever could. Because when safety becomes invisible, that's when it's working best. And Japan, in his eyes, was doing it better than anywhere else on Earth. Section 6. Convenience store or civilization beacon. What's the most amazing thing you've ever seen in a convenience store? Chips? Soda? Maybe a hot dog on rollers? For Keanu Reeves, Japan's convenience stores felt like science fiction. It started with food, not just snacks, real meals. Rice bowls, pasta, freshly made sandwiches, perfectly packed, beautifully presented. And they were good, like surprisingly good. But then came the shock. You could pay your bills there. Taxes, utilities, even buy concert tickets, all in a store that's open 24 hours. Spotlessly clean, with polite, efficient staff who greet you like you matter. Keanu once joked, "If the world collapsed, I'd want to survive inside a Japanese convenience store." But was it really a joke? Or was he saying something deeper? Because in that small, brightly lit space, he saw something more than convenience. He saw care, precision, pride in service. He saw civilization miniaturized. In many countries, convenience stores are chaotic. Dirty floors, uninterested workers, expired goods. But in Japan, they felt like shrines of daily life. Why is that? Why does a store that sells instant noodles feel more respected in Japan than schools or hospitals in other countries? Think about it. What does it say about a society when even the smallest spaces are treated with dignity? Maybe that's why Keanu couldn't stop visiting them. He wasn't just buying food. He was experiencing a culture, one perfectly packed on every shelf. Section 7: Hidden Alleys, Hidden Gems, Izakaya and Cleanliness. In most countries, a dark alley means one thing: stay away. But in Japan, it might lead to the best meal of your life. Keanu Reeves found that out the quiet way. One night, his team suggested an izakaya. He was hesitant. The street was narrow, dimly lit, and far from the city's main roads. "Are you sure this place is safe?" he asked. But when he stepped inside, everything changed. The air was clean. The tables were spotless. The food, fresh, precise, served with care. The staff didn't treat him like a celebrity. They treated him like any other guest, with quiet respect and warm hospitality. Keanu was stunned. In many countries, hidden bars are dirty, loud, even dangerous. But here, the more hidden the place, the more special it felt. It challenged his instincts, and maybe yours, too. Why are Japanese backstreets safer than main roads in other countries? Why are cheap bars here cleaner than five-star lounges elsewhere? The answer, Keanu realized, wasn't money. It was mindset, a respect for space, a pride in service, a belief that even small places deserve beauty. That little izakaya, tucked in a Tokyo alley, reminded him, dignity doesn't need luxury. Sometimes, the heart of a culture lives not in its skyscrapers, but in the shadows between them. Section 8: A country that respects privacy even for celebrities. What happens when a Hollywood superstar walks into a restaurant in the middle of the night? In most countries, chaos. Cameras, screaming fans, phones out. But in Japan, nothing. In September 2023, Keanu Reeves was spotted visiting a high-end yakiniku restaurant in Tokyo. It was around 10:30 p.m. He stepped out of a black car, walked inside, and dined quietly. No one rushed toward him. No one interrupted his meal. No one even took a picture without permission. Keanu finished eating, smiled gently, and got back in his car. Not a single person broke the silence. He wasn't surrounded. He was respected, and that left a deep impression on him. In most places, fame is a burden. You lose your space, your silence, your freedom. But Japan, it gives you space even when you're famous. It's not that people didn't recognize him. It's that they chose not to disturb him. That kind of cultural restraint is rare. In a world obsessed with selfies and attention, Japan quietly says, let them eat, let them breathe, let them be. For Keanu, that meant everything. He came for a meal. But what he tasted was something deeper. A society where privacy is honored like tradition. And that's a kind of hospitality you won't find printed on any menu. Section 9: Global Reactions. That's unbelievable. When Keanu Reeves shared his experiences in Japan, the internet exploded with one word: unbelievable. Not unbelievable in a bad way, but in a way that made people question their own countries. Wait, women really walk alone at night there? People actually wait at red lights when no one's around? You're telling me a celebrity can eat dinner in peace? The comments came pouring in. From America, Europe, Latin America, Southeast Asia. One said, "In my city, walking alone at night is a gamble even for men." Another wrote, If a Hollywood star came here, they'd get mobbed in 5 seconds. Many couldn't believe Japan's trains run on time. That missing the schedule by 1 minute causes a public apology. One tweet summed it up. It's like Japan is playing a different game on a different level. But here's the twist. What amazed the world is just normal life in Japan. What's extraordinary elsewhere is simply everyday behavior here. Think about that. What kind of society treats safety, manners, and cleanliness as baseline standards? It made people reflect, not just on Japan, but on what they've been tolerating in their own lives. Keanu didn't make a speech. He didn't criticize anyone. He just told the truth and let the world feel the difference. Section 10. What Keanu's words teach us about Japan. Keanu Reeves didn't plan to give the world a lesson about Japan. He just spoke from the heart. But sometimes, that's what makes the message more powerful. Through his quiet observations, we saw things we often overlook. Red lights respected in silence. Women walking freely at night. Restaurants in alleys that feel sacred, not scary. A convenience store that reflects a nation's values. A city that gives even celebrities the gift of privacy. None of these things scream for attention. And maybe that's the point. Japan doesn't need to shout to be heard. It speaks through actions, through details, through restraint, and through people like Keanu. The world hears it more clearly. His story is not just about Japan. It's about what happens when respect becomes habit, when quietness becomes strength, when dignity lives in the small things. In a loud, chaotic world, Japan offers something different. Stillness, balance, beauty in simplicity. Maybe that's why Keanu fell in love with it. Not because Japan is perfect, but because it still believes in harmony. And maybe that's what the world needs most right now. So the next time you see someone wait at a red light, or a woman walking safely in the dark, don't just see it as Japan being Japan. See it as a quiet reminder. This is what peace looks like. This is what respect feels like. And this is what we're all capable of if we choose it. What do you think about this part of Japanese culture? Is it the same where you live or totally different? I'd love to hear your thoughts or questions in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.